Hey guys, Professor Street Money with you. This is going to be our last poem together. I can't believe how quickly the year has gone by. I'm really sorry we're not finishing this face to face, but let's just go ahead and finish strong. I hope you guys have a good summer, and I hope you stop in next year and say hello. We are going to write our first poem today that deals with rhyme. So let's go through a little review about what rhyme is, and then we'll get into the poem itself. Remember that the written instructions are on Moodle, but in this video I'll give you a lot more detail and give you some helps, just like if we're face-to-face in the classroom. Rhyme, remember, is the repetition of like sounds, not just repeating the same word. You don't want to repeat the word cat and say, but it rhymes. It doesn't rhyme, you're repeating the same word. We also want to make sure that we don't have a slant rhyme. A slant rhyme means it kind of rhymes, but doesn't really, and oftentimes it rhymes because of the way you're pronouncing it. But if you were to put the words on the board, they would not really truly rhyme. An example of that, there's a Billie Eilish song, Billie Eilish, that is out now called Everything I Wanted. Not sure if I like it or not. Sometimes I hate it, sometimes I think it's okay. But she rhymes the word wanted and honest. They don't really seem to rhyme if you see them in writing, but the way she sings the song, they kind of do. So that's a good example of a slant rhyme. So be really careful if you want to ask me prior to this, do these two words rhyme, or am I just kind of making them rhyme in my mind? I will help you out with that. The other thing about rhyming poetry, just like song lyrics, guys, we have a rhythm to it. So when we read Shakespeare, when we were going through the sonnets and the soliloquies, the rhyming parts, they also had a rhythm. Why? We didn't stop and count syllables, but had we would have seen the same numbers of syllables. So we do want to make sure that the lines that rhyme have the same number of syllables, so it gives it that rhythm. The pattern of rhyme in the poem is called a rhyme scheme. And what that looks like, guys, is we start with the very first line of the poem, and that's always going to be letter A. The second line, you only have two options. Does it rhyme with the first line or not? If it does, it's an A again. If it doesn't, then you move on to the second letter of the alphabet, which, if you remember, is letter B. Some of the most popular rhyme schemes are AB, meaning first and third, second and fourth lines rhyme, or AABB, so first and second, third and fourth. The poem we're writing today does have a definite rhyme scheme. It has a definite syllable count, and it has a purpose to it, so you want to make sure that you get these instructions down and that you understand. And I'll read a couple examples to you, some of which are on the Moodle document. The last one is not. It was from a poem last year. The poem we're going to write today is called a limerick. And a limerick is a clever, humorous, I know those are relative terms, poem that tells some kind of a little story. Obviously in 5 lines you can't tell much, and oftentimes there's a twist at the end of that. It does have a rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme is AABBA, so first and second and fifth rhyme, and the third and fourth rhyme. Don't worry if you're not getting this down, guys. It is on the Moodle document. Also, because those lines rhyme, they need the same numbers of syllables. So the A lines, 1, 2, and 5, are 8 syllables. The third and fourth lines, the B lines, are 6 syllables. So the rhyme scheme is AABBA, and the number of syllables is 88668. Let's look at a couple of examples that I have for you, and these are the ones that are on the document. There was an old man from Peru who dreamt he was eating his shoe. He awoke in the night in a terrible fright and found it was perfectly true. So we have Peru, shoe, and true that rhyme. We have night and fright that rhyme. It is 88668. And we tell a little bit of a story, and there's kind of a twist at the end. That's a very common type of limerick, is that somebody thought something and it actually ended up being true. Like, there's an old joke, I dreamt I was eating a giant marshmallow, and when I woke up my pillow was gone. That type of thing. That would make a limerick if you put it into the proper form. Next one. There was a young girl named Sue who pretended she had the flu, for she knew the next day at her home she must stay, because lots of schoolwork was due. So again, we have Sue, flu, and do, and day and stay. Not much of a twist at the ending, except for the fact that she's faking it because she has a lot of work to do. Let me go through one that we have from last year. And here's another aspect of this assignment, guys. Unlike the examples that I just read, which are kind of generic ones, this is actually one that more conforms to the assignment and follows the criteria, because you do need to write about something Valley-oriented, like a Valley teacher, a class, a subject, a sport, anything iconically Valley, school-related, friends at lunch, having canes, whatever. As long as it's something to do with Valley life, then you're good. And you'll see as I read this one why this follows the criteria. There is a dog that is named Thor, and Streeter loves him to the core. He will listen to you, he is quite smart, who knew? If you love him, I love him more. And they rhymed Thor, core, and more, you, and new. So you see we have 88668, AABBA, and we have something about Valley there. And you notice if your syllables are correct when you read them, it will have a rhythm to it. So you might practice that and see if that works. When you record this on Flipgrid, I should hear that rhythm. Okay? So just to reiterate very quickly, look on Moodle and you can see the directions again. You're writing a limerick, a 5-line poem that's kind of clever or humorous in some way. You follow a rhyme scheme, which is AABBA, and you have to count syllables to give that rhyme rhythm, and that is 88668. And it does need to be something iconically about Valley. Make sure, though, guys, to double check your syllables again, because that was probably the biggest error on our haiku, was that we didn't count all our syllables. We might have been close, but it needs to, by definition, be 88668. I'm going to let you go for now. I hope you guys have a good summer, and I hope to see you next year. Stop in and say hi, and thanks for doing your best. And you know what? You've been blessed to be a blessing. Adios.